MacVoices Holiday Gift Guide number 5, Part 2. This is MacVoices. Today's MacVoices is supported by MacVoices After Dark. What happens before the show starts and after we sign off? Informative, fun, and completely off-script conversations. That's what. MacVoices After Dark is an exclusive benefit for our Patreon subscribers. Sign up now at patreon.com/MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is the second part of MacVoices Holiday Gift Guide number 5. The panel has lots of great picks left and a whole lot of laughs as well. Let's go back and let the panel do the picking. All right, so that's 2 rounds. We're halfway through. So now if you have supplements that haven't been stolen or anything, you have to start figuring out which 2 you're going to pick to finish things out. Pete, start off round 3 for us.
Okay, well, I've got supplements. I thought when Kelly started talking about it, I thought she was going to steal my 4th one, but here's my 3rd one, and I found this at CES in January. Dave and I were walking around, and they were off in a little bit of a corner, and I think you also saw them, Chuck. It's in this case, it's the Snap 4 Lux, which is at osnap.com, and it's essentially a pop socket. Well, a pop socket's a great idea. Hold your phone more easily, set it up as a kickstand, but boy, with magnetic charging, they just don't work. You got to pull them off, and it made a mess. Well, these folks solved that. The OSnap magnetically holds on, and they also have a little glue ring as well, which is reusable at least once. I've used it on 2 phone cases now, but it magnetically and glue attaches to the case. It can be pulled off for cleaning, but it is a pop socket that allows you to MagSafe charge right through it. It's thinner than a nickel, so actually your camera bump out is a little thicker than the OSnap pop socket itself. So it gives you a secure grip. It works as a kickstand. It works MagSafe right through it. And here's how good it is. Dave doesn't use those ever, hates them. But I wanted to review it, and they'd already put it on my phone. So in order to film it, they said, well, let's put one on your phone. And Dave's like, all right, and as soon as we walk away, I'm taking it off. And months later, it was still on when he wound up giving that phone to his son, and it's still on that very case. It's a great pop socket. It's like part of the phone, and you aren't challenged having to take it off to use the MagSafe charging. I love mine, and it's durable too. I accidentally stepped on my phone. Thankfully, it didn't break, but I thought, well, I've ruined this pop socket or the OSnap socket, and it's fine. It's got a couple scratches on it, but it didn't even budge. So, osnap.com.
I love things.
Do you have the latest one, Pete? Because I have version 4 in my cart right now, and I've been staring at it. So I wondered.
No, I don't. But I have.
Okay.
Let me tell you. Okay, family, plug your ears and say nah for 10 seconds. I got 3 more stocking stuffers for the family for this year. So
because like the version 4 also will be a kickstand. I think like part of it pops out, so it'll hold up your phone or something. I think I saw. Like maybe sideways for standby or something.
But it does a little bit better job on it, at least by the looks of the design. And for right now, depending when you listen, they're on sale depending on how much you purchase. You get 25% off if you go over a certain amount, 30 over another amount. So, but great stocking stuffers. I love these things.
Yeah, the OSnap people have really done a great job from the first time I met them to, they constantly iterate on their product, constantly make it better, make it, they listen to their customers, what they like about the products and what maybe doesn't work as well. And so when they moved over to the magnetic, it's like, that's just such a huge thing, because that means at any given moment you can pop it on and off with no trouble at all.
Right, they've solved a huge bunch of problems, and it isn't just the pop sockets. If you go to their website, OSnap, they've got mounts, they've got card mounts, they've got Snap wallets that'll hold your cards, that lever your credit cards out and hold your cash, and great, a lot of smart thinking went into the design of these things. I'm impressed.
Yeah, agreed. Good pick. Good pick.
Thank you.
Yeah. Charles, what do you have for us for round 3?
So for round 3, I'll just give you a little bit of a backstory first. So about 2 months ago, I got a text, and Alexa told me, I'm not going to say her name out loud, because we all know what happens. But
Yes.
But I got this text, hey, there's a leak under the sink in your kitchen. And so I rushed home, and indeed there was water dripping out of one of the pipes under the sink. I threw a pot under it.
No.
I got maybe a quarter-sized spot on the ceiling below it, which I was able to really quickly just dab some paint once I got this fixed. So my pick would be the Govee Wi-Fi water sensor. It's about $12 each. You buy them in 3-4 packs because $12 is not very much money. And as opposed to a $1,500 or who knows, what it takes to fix water damage, just a little water sensor that texts you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I tend to do a lot of this stuff myself. So $1,000 of materials, but if I was to hire someone, it would be, way more. So I have them under every sink. In Minnesota, we all have full basements for the most part, and there's a drain out into the sewers from there. So basements will flood, especially when the snow melts and there's massive amounts of water flowing all over the place. But to me, any homeowner should probably, have these. And if you're a techie buying gifts for your friends, it's like buying someone insurance, but better.
Nice.
Speaking of insurance, depending on which company you have,
no offense, better.
Oh no, but depending on which company you have, some of them will give you credit if you can demonstrate that you have these installed in your home. They will give you a certain amount of homeowners discount. I mean, look, it's not going to have it or anything, but every little bit helps. And
I'll have to call USANC.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a phone call. It doesn't cost anything to find out. But in fact, I had one of these. You talk about backstories. I had one of these save me because I had a leak that the water was dripping down into my basement, but we couldn't tell where it was coming from, and it was often a part of the basement that I just don't travel in much. There's certain places in your basement you go in, some you don't. This one I didn't go too much, but the sensor told me that there's water there. I found this, and what had happened, apparently when the house was built, they'd been using nail guns, and they shot a nail into one of the pipes. And it sealed itself so well that it had not leaked for years and years and years.
Right.
And when the plumber finally found it and cut the section out and replaced it, you could see that nail had just started to rust just enough that there was just a little leak. And if it had gone on for very long, that little leak would have turned into a whole lot of water.
Yeah, I had a drain spout come off of my gutters, and there was water coming into the house, into my wine cellar, which I only go to get wine, and it's not like I drink every night. But
almost
a couple weeks go by and I hadn't been in there, and I get this alert. I'm like, well, I can make it more wet in the wine cellar by opening a bottle, but let's fix it first, So yeah, it was in that case, it's finding that you're like, oh, well, I don't want black mold in my walls or something like that, so you want to fix those leaks as soon as possible. But yeah, water is like one of the most dangerous things to a home. So that's why I put that there. But
yeah.
All right. So Kelly, we now are up to your number 3 pick that you have gone and retrieved. So it must be good.
Yes. I am picking, full disclosure, this is someone that I know and know very well. I am picking a t-shirt shop on Etsy called Smokescreen Printing. And this is my friend Eric, who is a friend-in-law, I guess, of MacVoices, because he's married to Brittany, who is on MacVoices Live regularly. And the reason I know that is because I'm the one who married them. So you should expect that the girl in the R2-D2 shirt is the one who was going to come and talk to you about nerdy Star Wars shirts. So this one is one that I'm proud to say I actually helped inspire, which is a Han Solo that says, and it's much greener than you can see on the screen, but it says, "You have been frozen in carbonite," and it's sort of 8-bit pixel art. There's another one, the other one I couldn't find, which is the one I wanted to show, which shows Boba Fett in the green outline, and it says, "You have died of disintegration," which was the one that made me very happy. So he makes a bunch of shirts like this. He started out, he is a firefighter and would make shirts for people who are fighting particular fires. You can buy shirts for the fires that you fought. And so he started making some nerdy Star Wars ones. And so you can get some like this. And there's he has other ones on there that are also very fun. Charles, he has a Pokemon shirt. Yeah, it's which I know you will like. And he's just done a bunch of them that are really good, and he does all the art himself. He's a really great artist, and so you can buy prints of those there. You can get them in custom sizes and things. If you need something a little bigger than the size that's listed there, you can always send him a note, and he's pretty receptive about that. I don't know what his Christmas deadline is, but definitely, like, the shirts are awesome. The screen printing is super great. I know I've talked about his shirts. I've worn them on MacVoices and stuff before. And I would recommend them if you know somebody and you want to get them something a little different than what you see at the store all the time. Like the art, all of his art's original, and it comes right from him. Like, he takes all the envelopes down to the post office and puts them in the mail himself, because he does all the screen printing and stuff. It's not a print on demand kind of a thing. So he does print on demand, but like, he's the one that's doing all the printing of the shirts. It's not it's not Cotton Bureau or something like that, where someone else is actually responsible for creating the shirt that gets sent to you. So so hi, Eric. Like, I think a lot of those shirts are really funny. I think, Charles, when I saw you in July, I think I was wearing my Book of Boba Fett t-shirt. That was also one that he did. Yeah, the Book of Boba Fett and the Modern Day Mandalorians. So, yeah.
Love it.
Kelly keeps track of what she's wearing when she meets people. Okay.
Doesn't everyone?
Well, I took like three shirts that Eric made with me when I went to the Penn State Mac Admins conference, and I saw Charles while I was there. So, and I remember talking to people who asked me about my shirt, and so I think that was the one I had on when I saw Charles. That's why. Okay.
That makes sense. All right. Okay. Nice. So with Pete on the show, I was inspired to pick a flying something of some kind. Okay. So I'm going to pick, and Pete's like, "Oh my God, what's coming?" He's
going to take mine.
Yeah, I hope not. The 12 South Airfly USB wireless.
Oh, you did!
I did, really.
Wow,
exactly my next pick. Well done, sir. Yeah, well done.
Okay. Oh, and Kelly's going digging in her bag.
I'm not digging, because it's in that little handy front pocket I told you about. Yeah. It's right there, because I only ever need it on the plane, so it lives right here in the bag. That's why.
You guys are
that's why it's awesome.
Oh, that is so funny, Pete. That is so funny. Then I guess this means that Pete endorses it too. But one of the challenges with the Apple devices is that you can really only use them one-on-one. With the AirFly, you plug it in. It's a little Bluetooth transmitter, and so it takes the audio from your device and broadcasts it via Bluetooth so that it can be picked up by someone else's wireless headphones, so that if you're traveling with another person, you can share the screen and also have them able to hear the movie or the TV show or whatever it is you're watching. And this is one of those things that I didn't realize until I was flying at one point with someone, and it's like, oh shoot, we both can't watch this together and hear it. So as soon as we landed, I went and bought one of these, and it works super, super well. It just, that's its reason for being. So Pete, I don't know if you have anything to add to it, but it has always performed for me. Oh, I think you're muted, Pete. Pete. Earth to Pete.
There we go. I hit the mute button so I could cough. My apologies. And then I lost my mouse trying to get back to the unmute button. But I absolutely love mine. I got it for a Christmas gift 4 or 5 years ago and have taken it with me religiously. Absolutely. When you're on the aisle seat and the other person has to get out, and have to unplug your headset, all those little conveniences. And it works truly with any 1/8" jack type thing. You can turn that into a Bluetooth as well. So not just for airplanes, but I truly only use mine on the airplane. And it's just a nice way to watch the video or listen to audio that the airline provides without having to do it on those little $3 headphones that they try to tell you are headphones that you can't hear anyway. So you can actually use your nice, AirPods or some other noise canceling Bluetooth earbuds, and makes life a whole lot nicer when you're riding around on an airplane. So,
yeah, and Pete, you mentioned,
I don't do it in the front office.
Oh, good. We're glad to hear that. But you mentioned 8" jack. The one I put in is for USB-C for those devices who no longer have an 8" jack. So there are both versions, and they both do the same thing, and they both work equally well. But it is something to you have to stop and think about. Gee, if I have an iPad or an iPhone that doesn't have a headphone jack, you're going to have to come out of the USB-C port. Not a big thing, but just make sure, because it would really be disappointing to buy one of these, get on the plane, and find out you didn't buy the right one.
It wasn't the right one. Yeah. They also have an iteration, I think, for 2 sets of headphones. Like, I think there's one for
share. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that your AirPods and my AirPods, we can both be watching Doctor Who or whatever while we're on the plane.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Clearly you have someone that shares. I don't. No, I'm kidding.
Well, the option is there in case you're traveling with somebody who does want to see the same thing that you're watching. So, yeah.
Love it.
We'll fix you up, Charles. Don't worry.
It's my favorite Bluetooth adapter. Yeah. Of all of them, to take something that would otherwise be wired and make it wireless. This is the nicest one I've tried. And I went through quite a few at one point, and this is the one I like the best too.
Well, and
that's why it's in my bag.
Yeah, and it's 12 South, so you would expect it to be, So Pete, welcome to the wonderful world of having your gift ideas stolen. This happens frequently on this show.
Right. That's a great one. I'll tell you what. So, all right. Well, so to my first alternate, another one I heard it advertised last year, and I'm kind of like, oh, I'd like one of those. And then I saw them and another one at CES, and it is what most people know it as is the Bartesian, but Black & Decker makes one that is substantially less cost, but does the same thing. So it's perfect cocktails every time. Right now, again, it's a couple days before Thanksgiving. There you go. Well, and as a pilot, I'm a trained professional. So not in the front office. Just saying. So Black & Decker's is called BEV, B-E-V. It's the Black & Decker cocktail maker. And it does use the Bartesian pods for the mixers, and it has real juices and concentrates and that sort of thing. Their price point, and again, they'll change. Their highest price point that I've seen is $2.99. It's on $2.49 right now, and I was found it last night on Lowe's for $1.99. So they're not outrageously priced. The Bartesian's a little higher. It essentially, you set up 5 or 6 different bottles of alcohol, and the alcohol you choose. I want a Manhattan, or I want a margarita, or what have you. And you put the little pot in and you push the button and it perfectly mixes it. And you tell it whether you want it weak, normal, or strong, or even a mocktail, as it were. So it'll make those drinks for you perfect every time. And yes, I want one, honey, if you're listening.
I did not know this existed. This is really interesting, Pete.
Yeah, I just found it on Amazon, and I added it to my cart.
What did I say?
It goes so well with your wine cellar, Charles.
There you go. So, like I say, I found it last night on Lowe's.com for $1.99. So, I don't know what is it on Amazon? Same?
$1.99. Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Right now, I'm just leaving stuff in my cart till Black Friday. And then I'll just go through the cart and get it all.
Mm-hmm.
Or hope your wife wanders in and clicks purchase.
Hey, that reminds me. At the end of the show, someone remind me, and I have a purchasing tip that honestly I didn't even notice until just yesterday. So
why wait till the end of the show? Just bust it out.
Tell us now.
No, because I want to make sure that you remember it, so that then when you go back to your cart, that you will remember to do it.
Okay.
So,
fair enough.
Gosh.
Yeah, what it is his address. He wants you to ship it to his address.
Just what you need to know is,
Oh, darn, you figured it out, Pete. Charles, what are you wrapping up this year's
product first?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
What are you wrapping up with this year's guide with?
Okay, so another super quick backstory. The teen refuses to turn the heater off before going to school every morning. And so that company from the water sensors, Govee, they also make a smart heater, like a space heater type of thing. So it's inexpensive. It's about what you'd pay for a space heater if you just went and bought a random one from Home Depot or what have you. But you can wire it up to IFTTT or some of those automation websites. And you can say, when the garage door closes in the morning, turn off the smart heater upstairs if it's on. And so problem solved. Now, some parents might choose to solve that problem with better parenting. But I find technology to be a wonderful replacement for good parenting. So there you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've got nothing to say to that because it's just going to get me in trouble. So, no, it's what technology is supposed to do. You identify a problem, then you solve it with technology.
Right. And she can turn it on when she's at school so that it's warm when she gets home. I mean, the room really doesn't even need a heater in the first place, but, teens.
Okay. Kelly, last pick. What do you got?
Okay. Well, I did see that someone had picked the Sonos Move on an earlier guide, and that is super nifty, but it's also going to leave quite the dent in your Christmas budget. So I am picking the Sonos Roam because I have one and it's awesome. It's waterproof. It will work over, it'll connect over Wi-Fi. So it can just be an AirPlay device if you want to do it that way. It will also be, you can use it as a Bluetooth speaker. If you have 2 of them, they will talk to each other and turn into a stereo pair, which is also really nice. Again, waterproof. So this is the one I have for listening to things in the shower. It's super great. I got mine. There's a huge asterisk here of your mileage may vary. I got mine at Costco, and it came with the with a little triangular base to set it on that is also wireless charging. And I got that for basically the same price as the going rate for the speaker at the time. I don't know if Costco still has that bundle or anything like that. Sonos usually has a Black Friday sale. So if you hear this in a reasonable amount of time, maybe you can get in on, I'm sure it's in a bundle or two. I know there's another iteration called the Roam SL that I can't remember what the difference is between that and this one. This one does have voice assistance in it. So you can say to it, like you would say to the S lady, you say, hey, the name of the name of the company, and then you can tell it to play your music once you configure it. Like I had to authorize it on Apple Music, and then I can say, play my favorites mix on Apple Music, and then let it go, and it'll I can control the whole thing with my voice, which is pretty nice. It also has USB-C charging on the back, so if maybe you got a new phone and now like everything in your house is USB-C, you can just use that same cable for this too, or the wireless charging base if you have that. The sound in it is pretty good. I like it pretty well with spoken things, and as one speaker, sometimes it will give you I think it's called phase. Like if you were to take like the left speaker and the right speaker and you unplugged them and swapped them into the opposite ones, and like you kind of hear the vocal, but like every once in a while there's a song that will come up which doesn't sound quite right because you're only hearing one speaker and it's like not the one that has the main portion of the music in it. So every so often something sounds a little odd. But other than that, it's a solid AirPlay device. I've had it outside in the rain with no trouble. It's super durable. It will stand up on an end, but it's also got little kind of nubbies on the bottom, to use the technical term. So you can set it sideways as well. If you want it to sit this way, you can. And so far it's been really, really great. I've had mine for a couple of years now, and I'm pretty happy with it. So the Move is really expensive, but the Roam, this comes in I think at $99. And I also have taken it with me like traveling and stuff because it's not super big. I know, Chuck, you had a JBL, or no, Dave had a JBL. Dave Hamilton had a JBL that he used to travel with all the time, and it was a little bigger than this. This is a little more compact than that JBL that I can't think of the name of right now, but it's the big barrely one. This is a little smaller than that, but still has really great sound. And if you really like it, you can get two, and then they're stereo, and then they're even better.
The most important question I have is, have you ever said, play Roam by the B-52s on the Roam?
I have not. It has come up on my favorites mix, but I have not asked it specifically to play that song. So
missed opportunities. You have all night to
I know what I'm doing I know what I'm doing when we're done recording.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if you do it now, probably the universe will implode, and we don't want to do that. So.
And you'll get sued for copyright violation. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
YouTube gets touchy about that kind of thing. Yeah.
They really do.
And kudos to Sonos for their compatibility. Early on, it lacked, but now it's everything from Audible and Google Music and Amazon Music and Pandora and Spotify and Apple Music. They all are compatible now. So in addition to a quality speaker, those guys are thinkers.
Yeah, I went through a lot of almost disposable Bluetooth speakers, $15, $30 speakers. And, after a while, one day you plug it in and the little light just doesn't come on, and you've used up that speaker and now you have to go get something else. So, it's a little bit more than I was accustomed to spending on a Bluetooth speaker that I just sort of wanted for kind of around in general kind of stuff. But it's been super great. So yeah, I like it a lot. And plus it will also, like I said, it will do AirPlay as well. And it's flawless. You open up, the AirPlay button, you hit the Sonos, and you're done. Just like any other AirPlay. So, like you were saying, Pete, like it behaves the same as everything else that I've got in that same ecosystem, and it works really well.
Hey, nice, Kelly. Nice.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wrap with something that I think I recommend every year, and every year I have to explain it because sooner or later I get somebody that says, why? Why would you do that? I'm going to suggest that you buy someone you care about, especially if they're younger, or any age really, is buy them their own domain name. Now it can be their given name, or it can be something completely crazy like, Wild Man Pilot. inspired by someone that's on the panel.
Hey, now.
So why do you need
I resemble that.
Yeah. Why do you need a domain name? Because, not everybody needs a personal website. In fact, a lot of people that did have them have kind of abandoned them. The point is that you can take that domain then and you can get an email address from almost any service, and they will let you plug in your domain name. And so that means now that instead of being with a particular ISP that inevitably gives you a domain name, or something completely from the 18th century like AOL.com, because there are still people that have AOL.com addresses. I can't believe it, but they are. They have their own domain, and it can be a .com, it can be a .net. I mean, there's so many different domains now that you can personalize it to the individual through their interests or just something completely unique. But that means then that, first of all, you've got a recurring gift every year. So you just keep giving it, and they love it because they use it. But it also means that can never be taken from them. No matter what happens, that it's theirs. And I've gotten this from my sister and from my girlfriend, and the number of times that they seem to get extra respect when they give their email address for something, and they say, "Wow, you have your own name as your email address." That doesn't buy you anything, but it's just the idea that now you are in control. So you are no longer at somebody else; you are at yourself. And I personally, I will put in a plug for Hover as the domain registrar of choice, because they are great with not only helping you get your domain, but also giving you any service you need, or if you need any help hooking it up to your your email provider of choice, they are right there. So hover.com, go and check it out and just play with it, find something that suits, and then give that as a gift. It's a gift that keeps on giving, and it's a pretty inexpensive gift, depending on which domain you pick.
And I did just look it up, and Roam on Roam is available if you need it.
Is that .com, Charles?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Well, I know what Chuck's getting me for Christmas.
There you go.
So
that's awesome. And Hover always seems to have coupons.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They do a nice job of that. So.
Yeah, and if you happen to be one of those people that gather up a bunch of domain names because you have great ideas like roamonroam.com, after you achieve a certain level, they will give you a discount every renewal. So it's a way to save.
They also have a really straightforward management area. Like if you have domain names and you need to, not all of them have email on them, or you've got some that you just bought because you're going to do something with it someday. I've heard there are people who do things like that. Then you can go and like when you go in to manage all of those, like the panel is very straightforward. Sometimes it's really hard to find the thing you're looking for when you use services like this, and theirs is also one of the easiest ones to use. So you can get in, do the thing you need to do, and then log out again and move on with your life instead of having to spend an hour going over documentation to find the right sequence of things to click on to find the secret place where you do the thing that should be very obvious. So, or
having to be an awesome DNS admin to keep from being an evil spammer by accident, or all the all the technical esoteric stuff. I think their configuration stuff there is really easy to follow as well.
Yeah, it's very clear what you're doing.
And when that doesn't work, and now it's been several years, they could have degraded since then, but I found that they answer within 1 or 2 rings with a live human being who understands it and can help you fix it. It's like, whoa, wait, what?
That's amazing.
Are you really a person?
I didn't realize those existed anymore. Real human beings.
Right?
No offense to any of you.
That answer phones? That answer phones especially. Right. Like, I think, Yeah,
this podcast is human being free.
ChatGPT, make me a podcast. Okay.
Yeah. So I promised a buying tip, and I didn't know about this, and maybe you all do. But there are two parts to it. First of all, if you get an Amazon credit card, you get 5% back on anything you buy from Amazon, which is a lot better deal than any other credit card that I have. Everything else is like 1 or 2%. But so if you get that, then, and you can either apply it to your balance, or you can spend it just like money, or do whatever you want with it. But it's worth looking into, because especially if you buy a lot of things from Amazon, big ticket or little ticket, I think we all probably here have regular deliveries from Amazon. So it's free money sitting out there. My camera's arguing with me today for some reason. I don't quite know why.
I was just going to say your camera switched on you.
Yeah.
Heads up.
But between now and I think it's the 28th of this year, if you have the Amazon card, if you buy with the Amazon card on Amazon, and if you will agree to not the next day or second day delivery, but like a week later delivery, you get an extra 1% on the benefit to the card.
That's delivery day, right? Like you pick, like you just order throughout the week, and then it all shows up on Tuesday or whatever.
Something like that, Kelly, or a week later, or non-rush delivery. Okay. I forget what they call it.
Oh, no rush shipping. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two, because there's delivery day, like you tell it, you just keep placing orders, and then they all show up one day on a selected day of the week, or the no rush shipping, which usually a lot of times can be like a week or so, but yeah.
Right. Now, 1% might not sound like a lot, unless you're buying
until you're Christmas shopping on Amazon.
Right. Or if you're buying bigger ticket items, then it's like, well, hey, again, that's free money. And if I really don't need it, as long as my delivery date doesn't go past the date of the holiday, why wouldn't you? So I don't know how fast you can get an Amazon credit card. That's something for you to determine based on your credit rating. But, it's 5% and an extra 1% if you're not in a rush. So go forth and purchase.
For a long time, I tried to avoid having credit cards or other credit cards. I use my Amex for almost everything. But then, with Amazon, Target, there's a few where you're just at these places routinely, and it just makes sense. Unlike I feel like in the late 90s, I used to get every retail place wanted me to get their card. And then the next thing you know, you've got a wallet with like 20 credit cards in it. And you're like, I don't want any of these. I just wanted the 20% off that day. But I couldn't agree more on the Amazon card. And I need to go look at my shipping options from Amazon, because I don't want things brought to me that day. And it happens quite frequently these days where I order something and then it shows up like 4 hours later. And I'm like, I feel guilty about that.
I'm like, I didn't need that
for
now.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
it's one of the options when you
default.
check out. Like it'll, like if you are defaulted to the fastest.
But I use the app and just do buy now. Like,
Somebody write this down. This Charles is the first person I've ever run into that doesn't want instant gratification. I'm
not saying I don't want it, but like I don't need it 4 hours from now. I don't need to cause chaos at a distribution center somewhere, because before I forget, I need to buy a cable, or something just broke and I need to replace it. Like, when it shows up, it's fine. It's not a red alert kind of thing. If it was that big of an alert, I would get in the car and go somewhere and have it right now if I needed it right now. So I'm the same way. Well, tomorrow's fine. It can get here Friday, whatever, no rush. Yeah.
When it's negative 30 here in Minneapolis, I don't want some poor teenager driving around rushing to my house to get a cable here by 4 hour window,
Exactly. I will tell you, Chuck, credit, I know credit ratings can influence this, but earlier this year we got an Amazon card at my house, and it was pretty straightforward. They really want to give you one. Like they're highly motivated to make sure everybody gets an Amazon card. So that definitely makes a difference. And I know I don't know if they rotate the categories all the time like some credit cards do, but I know that you do get a certain amount of cash back on it with other purchases. So that's sort of become our default card. So like you get by far you get the most back if you use the Amazon card on Amazon. But then Like if you buy, if you use it to get gas, if you use it for groceries and stuff like that, then I think you do get some back on those. Like it's a smaller percentage, but I think you do still get some back for that. So yeah, and they're very excited to give you one. And when you go to check out, they'll be like, "Did you know you could have this order for free if you got an Amazon credit card?" Like every time until you have one. And then when you have one, they go, "Do you want to cash in the points that you have on your Amazon credit card instead?" So like, yeah.
So Pete is the only one here licensed to do much of anything, but so none of this is financial advice. Let's be clear about this. But
right.
that said, obviously the discounts are great, but you're going to kill them if you don't pay off the card on time. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, you're cycling, you're spinning down until you crash, just not as fast. So,
right.
Guys, this is what happens on these gift guides. We always pick some great products, but we have a lot of laughs, and you guys just fit in so well with that. Thank you so much for your time and for some great ideas. And yes, a couple of you have cost me money. Oh boy.
I do that regularly, so I'm used to it. It's fine. I can live with that.
Yeah, but see, I do multiple of these shows, Kelly, so they keep,
I know.
It becomes sport for the guests.
Right now.
Well, for everyone else, yeah.
Let's go around. Let folks know where they can find you when you're not here spending my money, and then we'll get out of here and go have some holiday cheer. Pete, thank you. It's great to have you on the first time, both on MacVoices and on the gift guide. It will not be the last, I promise. Where can folks connect with you?
Well, it's been a privilege. So probably if you want to email me, it's repeat, and that's REPETE, which was my call sign. So it's repeat at sothereiwas.us. And I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/sothereiwas. And then really X is the only other one. It's at Pilot Pete, one word, at Pilot Pete. And several of the other social medias I've gotten on, I'm just not good at being active and finding myself on there. And also on Discord. I'm on Discord a lot with the Mac Geek Gab, and you can also get me at Pete at MacGeekGab.com. So any one of those. Thank you, Chuck.
Hey, Pete, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I see he went and got himself a custom domain name. So he's a walking, talking example. Charles, thank you.
And both my kids have their names already. It's a great idea.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Charles, thank you so much for being here. As always, it's always a blast.
Not blacklisting me yet.
What have you done? No, never mind. I don't want to know.
You do, but not while we're recording.
Yeah. Then I might have to testify. You're right. Listen, I've lost track. There's so many things you do. What are the places that people can see what you do and connect with you?
I typically take everything through crypted.com, which I've had my domain name since the 90s, KRYPTED.com. The Mac Admins podcast, if you're looking for something on Stitcher or whatever your favorite podcast app is, the History of Computing podcast. I'm a couple months behind on that, but it's been a busy couple months. I'd say those are the easiest places to find me, either through my website or one of those two.
Great.
Oh, or through my publisher. If you go to apress.com and search for my name, all the silly books, or Amazon, if you'd rather get the books there.
And get 6% back.
And get
6%. Yep.
Happy holidays, Charles. Thanks so much.
You too.
Last but absolutely not least, she may be last, but she's never least, Kelly Guimont. Where can folks connect with you, Kelly?
You can find me at kelly@giggles.com. No, I'm kidding. You can generally find me over on Mastodon, where I'm verso at mastodon.social. Every Tuesday night, and sometimes I still can't figure out why, Chuck has me on MacVoices Live on Tuesday evenings. I keep trying to join the Zoom meeting and he just keeps letting me in. So, everything after that's kind of on Chuck. So I do my best to go over there and distract him. Recently, I was on the British Tech Network with friends of the show, Jeff Gamet and Patrice Brennemore. I'm occasionally on In Touch with iOS. You can find me on the Incomparable Podcast Network, where I Want My MCU TV and then show up on various other episodes there talking about various things like toys and Christmas and the Marvels, things like that. Sometimes Star Wars, sometimes playing a ridiculous game show from a ridiculous board game from the 1950s, which is, always a good time. And the rest of the time, I'm probably either listening to a Mac Admins podcast to try and learn something for my day job, or I'm playing Pokemon Go.
Excellent. Thank you, Kelly. Happy holidays.
And to you.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is Mac Voices. In case this is your first gift guide, links it will be in the show notes to all of the picks, the specific picks, not just general, but the specific items. We also put those out in the Mac Voices Holiday Gift Guide Flipboard magazine, so you have something a little more graphic for you to flip through on your iPad or iPhone. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Go forth and enjoy, because there's a lot of good stuff in each one of the that have been picked by each one of the panels. And they've all cost me money. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices each month. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.